Welcome to day 7 of the 14-day Buddhist planner for the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm Alan Pito. So day 7, we're talking about right mindfulness. Not only is this the week mark for you in this 14-day planner, but mindfulness is a really important part of the Noble Eightfold path. If you really think about what the Buddha did every single moment of his life, he was being mindful. And we may look at it as being extraordinary, but it was actually our true nature. If we're able to actually be mindful of what's actually going on and understand concepts of no self and impermanence and dependent co-arising, different things that make up the Buddhist teachings, we can actually exist in this world in the right state, in nirvana. So when we're talking about COVID-19 in this pandemic, you're going to be stressed, you're going to react, you're going to respond instead of being mindful. You're not always going to be mindful, and that's us being humans and being so long conditioned to where we're at right now. And Mara loves that. That's where those 3 fires kind of come up. But being mindful is like water to those fires as well. So let's get right into it. So to be mindful, there's a few different things we can contemplate. They're kind of like exercises to make you more mindful in everyday life. So first one, contemplate impurities of the body. And I think this is perfect for COVID-19 because we look at our bodies as perfect. Like it's always going to exist. I'm never going to be sick, even though yes, we know we're going to be sick. At some point get a cold or something like that, break a finger or whatever the case might be. But we don't want to think about that. Now, in the Buddha's time and afterwards, it wasn't uncommon for monks to actually, just reside at graveyards in the middle of the night, or whatever the case might be. They weren't there trying to be gothic or very morbid, but they're going there to actually contemplate the impurities of the body, to actually see what might have been beautiful or very muscular or whatever the case might be, handsome. Nope, we all decompose. We all have different diseases and everything kind of like residing inside us. So they would do that as part of their teaching. So you don't have to go to that degree, but it's good to kind of think about, especially with the 5 remembrances, what we're doing every day. Like one of them is, aging, ill health, and dying, right? So ill health, realize, could I get COVID-19? Yes, I could, It's possible that I won't, but a possibility I will. We don't know, but we know we will be sick at one point in our lives if we've never been sick, which is hard to really say, but let's say getting maybe really sick or something like that. It's possible because we're all going to die eventually, and there's going to be something that causes us to die, and that's getting ill to whatever degree. So contemplating the impurities of the body, right now, all of us, we have some type of bacteria, viruses, or whatever else inside us, and our immune system does a very good job of attacking it, but we're never completely free of any type of disease or something just not right with our body. Then we talk about suffering and feeling, so contemplate those. Now, suffering is just a kind of a generic, broad word for it, but, are we contemplating like all these feelings and how they make us feel and what is quote unquote suffering to us? We need to think about that. So like when we're engaged out there in the real world, when we're being mindful, we're understanding what our feelings mean to us, our emotions, our quote unquote suffering. So then we're not able to be basically manipulated, controlled by Mara, and have the 3 fires kind of flame up. Then we're also talking about the impermanence of basically different phenomena. So if you think about it this way, everything is never going to exist. Everything kind of ends. I'll end eventually. I'm going to die, right? But everything is impermanent. Nothing's permanent insofar as Buddhism. So, for example, the COVID-19 pandemic, that will end. Now, could it, flare back up like I talked about in prior videos? Of course. For example, the flu. It ends, it comes back, and there's different strains and different things like that. So, impermanence is something that goes throughout all of Buddhism in our teachings, but it's not something to be feared. It just means, yes, I will die, but also, for example, COVID-19 pandemic, the pandemic will die down eventually. Now, some other ones too, nonself. So nonself, in Buddhism, is realizing, I'm just a grouping of what we call 5 aggregates. If just like one of them doesn't exist with me anymore, then I'm not going to exist. For example, if the air leaves this room and I can't breathe, well, I'm not going to exist anymore. But it's the non-self of all phenomena. So we're talking about impermanence, right? But also everything is conditioned. So I was created due to causes and conditions. My chair, this board, everything, they're all causes and conditions that make them arise, but also that they will also, because of impermanence, cease at one point. Some can take millennia, right? Or millennias. It can just go on and on for a very, very long time, like our world or the sun or something to that effect. Or a very short time span, like myself, how in a couple of decades, a human being will live. So impermanence, COVID-19 is a good example. The actual virus is very fragile. It doesn't live a very long time in certain conditions, like most other viruses that they're kind of learning about. So, but if there's causes and conditions that allow it to thrive, then it thrives, or it survives, or it can be reconstituted, whatever the case might be. So all that, we have to be mindful of. And this is trainings to make you more mindful in your everyday life. So when you're actually engaged with people or situations, you're able to do it in a correct state. Now, you also notice here every moment I have. So remember I talked about the Buddha was mindful in every moment of his life. That's where we need to be as well, too. And you'll get there, especially with COVID-19 and this pandemic. You're going to get there. Don't worry. It's just right effort, like we talked about, and continuing to practice. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.